Hello, my name is Virgil and this is Literally Books, and today I want to talk about Avram Davidson's short story, The Bloody Man. It's found in this collection, Limekiller. This is a series of short stories that he wrote. They're slightly longer short stories, all set in the fictional country of British Hidalgo, which is based on the real country of British Honduras or Belize. He actually lived in that area for a while and taught. I believe, I'm not certain if it was when I was there, but I know for a short time he was literally a teacher for Lucius Shepard, right? Which was kind of funny. And Lucius Shepard does an introduction in this book. This is sort of like a magical realism sort of story, sort of, kind of. So a South American country. Jack Limekiller, our lead character, main character, is a like a shipping boat captain, right? He owns his own private boat. Doesn't really have a crew, and he goes up and down the river and just makes money doing that, right? And sort of lives in this environment and a kind of a weird sort of amalgamation of various different cultures that are in this area at this time. That area is very different now. When the story begins, Jack Limekiller is talking with an archbishop, a retired archbishop, about another archbishop who is going to move into the area, who's retiring as well, and he's decided to move into this area to retire. And essentially he's looking for the materials to build him a new house. He needs a house built for this guy. And Jack is trying to edge in to get this job. He's trying to get this delivery. He's like, this is money. This is good money to be made. I want this work. And so the archbishop does allow him to go and do this. And then for quite a while, I'd say almost half the story, we get background of the area and Jack Limekiller are trying to secure these building materials. Which, okay, that might sound to you like, this is not something... What are we reading here? And this is, I think, where we really get to experience the mastery that Davidson has with prose, because that entire first half of the story completely enwrapped me. I was never bored. Jack is trying to get these cement and boards and other various things, and there's various difficulties, and all while he's trying to collect these goods, we're getting world building, right? Because this is a fictional version of Honduras, but it feels real. And not only does it feel real, but it's just so interesting when he sort of goes on a little tangent and he talks for a little bit about something. He talks about how he has to. There's another town that has some of these materials. He's pretty sure there's people who produce some of these materials in another town, but he wants to call them, but none of them have a phone. Instead, when they want to make a call, they go to an office somewhere in the town and they make a call, right? So to get a call to them is impossible. So I think he sends a telegraph to them, and the guy at the telegraph's office, Her Majesty's telegraph office, is super old, super old, and he can't hear very well. So Jack isn't really sure if the telegram that he sends out is right or not. It's so entertaining, right? And you might be thinking in the back of your head, where is this story going? What is going on with this story? But at the same time, you're getting this absolutely gorgeous picture of this area and the people that live in it. You get all these really wonderful accents that come through in Davidson's writing, right? You don't get descriptions of these people, but you hear the way that you can hear the way they talk because of the I can't remember the term for it. But the manner of their speech, right, is such that you're clued into the nationality of this person and the culture that they come from, because it's a very diverse culture that this British Hidalgo. You just get this really amazing picture of these people and this landscape, and it's just so interesting. And then you start seeing a problem. There's a problem with some shipping, or not some shipping, it was fishing that's going on off of the shore, and how one group traditionally fishes in one area, but another group has been traditionally fishing somewhere else, and they are foreigners who sort of immigrated to this area. And all of a sudden they move their fishing grounds to this other group's fishing territory, essentially, which is not really like licensed to them or anything. It's just traditionally where they would fish, and they're like fishing it out. And so there's a lot of turmoil going on. And Jack, sort of happening to be moving around trying to get these building materials, ends up being in the wrong place at the wrong time, in a sense. And so, being a white man, he's thrown into His Majesty's office to find an answer. What's going on here? And he gets wrapped up in what essentially is the people who have moved out of their tradition. This one group who has left their other fishing area, their normally set aside fishing area, is afraid of something supernatural. And then we get this story about the bloody man, and Jack sort of, because he gets curious, partly because he needs to get this stuff resolved, I guess, to get his, because he's involved with it, he gets to sort of look to get an answer, and because he knows the people who are sort of in charge, ends up sort of going on this sort of like a quest. He ends up also encountering the bloody man. There's lots of like misconceptions about what the bloody man is, and there's lots of like folktale stuff going on here, and it's just so well done. A really, without spoiling anything, a really great short story, just really, really entertaining. I've read one other short story from this collection, and I'll probably review it separately here when I get to it, called Manatee Gals Won't You Come Down Tonight. I believe that's the title. It's very close to that title. Really, just good stuff. Just such good stuff. You can get this whole collection here in Limekiller. There's an audio version. I believe there's an ebook version too. Just great stuff. The writing is so entertaining, so well done. Such a great use of like kind of like winding you out, like taking you out, pulling you out into a weird sort of like little bit of tidbit that ends up being world building or character building, and then pulling you back, and you have this super clear picture, or this super vivid picture of the characters and the place where the story takes place, and it's a really great sort of ghost story that we get. Fantastic, absolutely worth checking out. If that kind of sounds interesting, I don't think I've ever read anything quite like this. Right, the setting, the characters, the type of story that it is absolutely 100% unique. I absolutely love this. This is so good. So I'm looking forward to reading the next story here. Avram Davidson, Limekiller is the collection, and the story is The Bloody Man. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Virgil, and this is Literally Books. A like and subscribe are very helpful. There's also a support link down there in the description. That's all for right now. Bye.